After reading parts 1 and 2 of Creators on Creating, I've learned a lot of things and also just touched on things I've kind of already thought about on my own. My first point is Anna Halpern explains how she was disinterested in movement that is highly stylized because in her mind, to some degree, everyone is a dancer, and she says especially when she's communicating with someone through movement. I think that's a beautiful thing, and Mark, like you said, every day we're choreographing. We wake up, we brush our teeth, we get dressed, we go to class, we eat lunch. That's all choreography to an extent. And so I also agree that everyone is a dancer to an extent, and yeah. My next point is that Federico Fellini, he doesn't like logical planning. He thinks that it's bad to start from a very clear place, and he'd rather start from ignorance and then utilize resources as they come to him throughout the process. And I kind of like that because it almost relieves pressure you have of, I need to have this point that I want to make set in stone. All these things need to be clear right now, and I need to get it done right now. But I feel like part of being a creative person is kind of having the messiness aspect of your process. Because if you didn't have the mess, you wouldn't be able to find things in that mess that you might not have been able to find if you already had, if that makes sense, like a clear set plan. So I like that point. My third point that Federico also makes is he explained how he doesn't agree with favorable or non-favorable criticism of his works because his creations, he believes, are a direct correlation to him as a person, and by creating, he's portraying his true, authentic self. And so he feels as though if someone were to criticize his works, again, whether favorably or non-favorably, it would feel like they're criticizing him as a human being. And I have to really agree with this. This is the point I think that I relate to most in my own personal experience, in choreography and also just in general, because like okay, the piece I just made, it's nice to hear from people that they liked it, but I don't, like, it's my piece and I know that I like it and I know that it's something I created, so I don't really need approval from other people, because it does kind of feel like you're approving of me as a person because my piece is something that I created, if that makes sense. So I have to really agree with him on this one. For my fourth point, Pamela Travers, however you say that, said she was the creator of Mary Poppins. She said that she created one of her characters based off her experience as a child because she would answer other people's questions with a question. And she believes that nothing in life is finished or set in stone, which I think that's a very philosophical point and a very true point. I also feel like it very much relates to science and research because you never stop asking questions, which you could also apply that to dance because you're always researching things. Dancing in itself is essentially you're producing research because you're experimenting with things. You don't stop asking questions. Maybe if I put my hip back this way or my arm this way, you keep trying to ask yourself questions and you say, let me try this, let's dance. And so yeah, I really like that. And then for my final point, J.G. Bennett, he believes that you need time to digest and let go during the creative process and that you should let things happen without conscious interference. Again, that kind of relates to how Federico thinks it's bad to start for somewhere clear, so that way you can have kind of the messiness of the creative process. And I think that also relates to the fifth point, how you need to kind of give yourself time to let things happen to you instead of you manipulating things to happen.